Well, good early evening, everybody. It's time for study session here for August 25th, 2025. All of our council members are present. Appreciate everyone being here. Item 1 is to review the agenda for tonight's council meeting. I know we went over this earlier. Is there any things that you like, council, from staff? I think we have one thing for a rezone in D6. Is that right, or D5? It's D5, right? 7A for the rezoning of Sienna Ridge, a 29 unit. Okay. All right, council, this might be a short study session. Anything else? Mary, would you like to say anything?
So Mayor, we did provide all of the council member district coordinators with a summary of the garage sizes for the adjacent jurisdictions. So if anybody had any questions, we're happy to answer any of those.
Yeah, I think that was a topic of conversation at the earlier one. Vice Mayor, are you good with everything on that?
It's off consent, right?
Well, right now it's on consent unless you want it off
Oh,
consent.
I thought we removed it last week.
Did we remove it? Okay, it's off, okay.
I'm just curious, I guess, if Councilmember Summers, did you, when you saw the garage size, like that Mary sent over, did you have thoughts on that?
Yeah, we had a discussion about this at the last study
Yeah.
session, and my concerns were with, the size of cars aren't getting any smaller, and yet we're shrinking a garage. And I know that in one instance or several instances, the garage square footage is larger, but the depth is still coming down, so you can't get an SUV in there. And this is a higher density product. I have no problem with the development itself. My concern is as we continue to erode standards like this, we're going to just creating parking problems for the future. So I just can't
So your
support
same
shrinking it up.
concerns exist from last Thursday, even after seeing like the
Yeah,
comparisons and all that?
my
Yeah.
concern is the same. So
Okay.
it's up to the council, obviously, whether or not we're going to accept the PAD, but I don't support it based on that.
I would like to offer one clarification, and I don't know if you all can verify, but according to the applicant, you said an SUV wouldn't fit. He says all cars and full-size trucks fit.
I don't think that's the case. When you look at a 20-foot deep garage, that's a really tight fit going in there, and just looking at some research of mine, some will, some won't. My concern is, when you look at, again, I don't want to keep repeating myself here, but I think as we shrink that standard with the growth of, and particularly when you have something of this high density, you're going to end up having people trying to park in the street, and there's no really place to park in this type of development. So that's going to bleed out onto the public streets. And while that's legal, why are we shrinking a standard? I think we created that standard for a reason. Maybe it wouldn't give me as much heartburn if this were, say, more of a downtown thing where we're looking at a car light development. But this it's suburban. It's suburban. We rely on our vehicles in East Mesa to get to and from work and the store and shop. And I just, I don't like the idea. But it's a vote of the council. I'm fine with the decision.
Yeah, absolutely. That was your comments. And I guess I would just say, since it's in my district, I'll just add my 2 cents that we are in line with every other surrounding municipality that we were given information. They required 20 by 20. We're talking 8 inches here. You can fit a car in there. These are private streets, so it's not like they're gonna come out onto the public streets. Now, I guess that you could argue that they maybe would go to 90th, but I think what'll end up happening is they'll park along the private streets of this community. So, and they have 2 different types of garage lengths and widths, and so if you have a large car, I don't think you move into a place where your vehicle doesn't fit. I think that's probably what ends up happening. So I'm comfortable with the deviation, or I don't know if is it a deviation in the code? Yeah, by 8 inches.
Ms. Duff?
Also, usually on private streets, I don't have many HOAs in my district, but from living in HOAs in the past, usually there's a standard in an HOA that there's no parking on the private street, or does that mean, I guess it matters more on the width, but it's not uncommon that on a private street, they say, no, you need to park in the driveway, or your garage. So I think if anybody had a car that wouldn't fit in a garage, this would not be the floor plan for them if they didn't want to park in their driveway. I think that adding to the size of a garage, something has to give. It adds to the cost of the home, or it reduces the living space. And I think living space is more important, and I'm certainly sensitive to the cost of, homes right now. So I'm in agreement with Councilmember Goforth.
Anything else, council? I think there's two variations in the plan. I think there was townhomes, and then there's a single-family resident as well. Two types of developments there, correct? And
Mayor, I'm going to ask Evan to come up and talk about the different types of homes, or two different.
yeah,
types
when
of
I read
units.
through the staff report, that's what I saw. And again, the deviation from the garage, I know my truck won't fit in there. It's probably about almost 22 feet long. And Mr. Adams has one even longer, so
It's pretty tall, too.
this is probably 25 feet.
Thank
So-
you, Mayor, council members. I'll skip the parts. Here we go. So garage sizes. It's a for rent product. So the parking requirement is 2.1 spaces per unit. There are a total of 4 different floor plans. There's Plan 1 and Plan 2 have the garage that's 19 feet, 2 inches in width, 20 feet in depth. Plans 3 and 4 have the larger garage, 25 feet in width and 20 feet in depth. So there are 4 floor plans total, but it's all for rent product.
Okay.
I would also note that 61 spaces are required. They're providing a total of 17 guest parking spaces between the guest spaces and the ADA. There are 29 units proposed, so we're just under half if you look at it as a ratio for guest spaces.
Okay. All right. Councilmember Goforth, you're all good to go on this? Okay. Any other comments, council? All right, not hearing any. Well, then we'll move over to next is current events and conferences attendance. Council, do you have anything you wish to share? Mr. Adams, why don't we start with you? Would you have anything you'd like to share?
Well, I had the privilege of attending Water World in Lehigh, a community event that involved a water slide, actually a couple of them, one small one for the kids and a bigger one that I had to check it out just to make sure it was safe and appropriate, and it worked just fine. There were hot dogs, and Mesa PD showed up, and Engine 211 showed up several times for different reasons. And there were some other sporting activities, a foot race or two. And let's just say every once in a while you learn a lesson. It's like George Strait says in that song, I still feel 25 most of the time, but I'm not. So my foot race didn't quite go as planned, but I will tell you, Mesa Fire and Medical, I think what happened, I allowed myself to become dehydrated. And in the process of that, I had a hamstring yell at me really loud, and there's great video out there of the whole incident, but our Mesa Fire and Medical people, there could be no finer emergency medical organization around. They took care of me. Officer Nick Curitan out of Central. I needed something to lean up against while I'm sitting there on the ground, and Nick stood there for 45 minutes like an oak tree, being my backrest. So I am so very grateful for all of the attention and care and concern. But we're going to do Water World next year, and maybe on a cooler day. But so everybody remember that. Don't remember the incident. Remember Water World, and come on out next year and support it. We'll have it on the calendar.
Well, we all attended the Arizona League of Cities and Towns last week and attended lots of great sessions and panels. I know, Mayor, you were super busy all those days of the league, spoke a bunch of times. I wanted to just mention that Councilmember Adams and Duff and I are all doing the inaugural Civic Craft program through Arizona League, and it's a leadership program for elected officials across the state, and it will last a year with a virtual and or in-person meeting every month. So that is exciting to be a part of that. And I just enjoy rubbing shoulders with other council members and mayors from across the state and hearing what's going on in their cities and with their councils, and it's always a really great week.
Great.
And then just one more fun thing, I have to give a shout out to our fire department. They had me come and do a cinnamon roll bake-off with one of their firefighters. And I probably wouldn't have brought it up if I lost, so I won. But it was just a fun thing. We do too much serious stuff around here, and it was a fun thing that they asked me to do. And there was a great turnout. Lots of people came, and Mary Camillo was one of the judges. And I've been told by a lot of people that it wasn't rigged, so I'm going to go with that. And it was really fun. And I just want to give a huge shout out to our public safety departments, and they're just such good people and trying to do good in our community, and I'm just really grateful for the work that they do.
Thank you. Ms. Goforth?
Sure. I was honored to moderate one of the panel discussions at League on transportation and transportation funding with 3 really great panelists who I think offered a lot of good expertise and insight into transportation funding in the state of Arizona. I learned some things, and I think the audience learned a lot too. I also got to go to Smith Junior High and speak about, in support of the proclamation, the Youth Empowerment and Engagement Proclamation, and at their curriculum night, and that was great. And then Mayor and Julie and I had a good time celebrating the Red Mountain branch of Mesa's Library, their 30th anniversary. So it's hard to believe they've been around 30 years, but we had a really great crowd. A lot of people enjoying refreshments, and so that was nice.
Ms. Duff?
Yeah,
You were there for quite a while.
yeah, I went Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and attended quite a few events, and it was a very good event. When I came back over the weekend, I did attend some of the Mesa International Film Festival that was hosted at the Delta. They had over 130 films and filmmakers around the world. I went to the awards brunch yesterday, and I do appreciate their attention to Mesa and hosting and having filmmakers here and furthering that craft and Mesa becoming a place for filmmaking and film sharing and learning about film. And certainly we have the ASU mix and the Sidney Poitier New American Film School at ASU, so it fits right in. I love having it here. Thanks.
Great. Vice Mayor, anything?
No, just my appreciation to Superstition Division for Coffee with a Cop in Sunland Village East. It was actually very well attended,
Great.
especially now that you have your own police station. That's great. No.
Well, as Ms. Spilsbury said, I was pretty busy. I was on 2 panels, and then I joined the Central Arizona Project for their discussion and luncheon, and then joined Mayor Gallego and Mayor Sarter from Surprise, as well as all the other mayors in the Arizona Municipal Water Use Association about how important cap water is for our community. So we did a announcement on that. I attended also, thank you to the Salt River Rescue, to our firefighters who are doing a rescue training actually on the Salt River, and they saved a person there that was floating unconscious in the river. So that was done at 708 West Baseline, and that was the recipients of that resuscitation. He came down from Prescott. He wanted to meet the firefighters who saved his life. So that was very great for them and his wife and family members. So with that, also I was on a resolution committee for the Arizona League of Cities, and we talked about public safety, and especially for hiring, retention, and recruitment. And so I kind of pushed some buttons on that. Some of the other mayors didn't like it, but we have to understand more about our recruitment and retention for public safety personnel. Vice Mayor joined me on that as well. With that, Mr. Butler, can you share future meetings?
Yes, sir. Mr. Mayor and Council, we will be back here on Thursday morning at 7:30 for study session, followed upon adjournment by the Audit and Finance. An Enterprise Committee meeting. I had to make sure I got the full name of the committee. Audit, Finance, and Enterprise Committee meeting immediately after study session.
Okay, thank you. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Thank you, Ms. Spilsbury. Vice Mayor, all in favor, say aye. 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 All right, we're adjourned. See you upstairs, maybe with some rain, who knows?